Dear friends, as many of you might well be aware, P&M Abroad has had a very long history of ups and downs and left to rights. Back in April 2009, I formulated the organization P&M Abroad with certain rules of engagement that I thought sure would revitalize the political nobility within Trinidad and Tobago. As you know, no good organization can function well without founding members. So I approached individuals in that regard who have since assisted me in making this one of the #1 P&M groups online, ranking 15th in the world and reaching out to over 2 million people around the globe. P&M Abroad has worked tirelessly to assure the people of Trinidad and Tobago are represented in the greatest degree possible, forgetting all this die-hard approach and encompassing all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Expanding this brand, keeping them informed and up to date by the hour, and sometimes even by the minute. However, friends, we have hit a particular juncture in our history that serves to question our future prospects. We have invested a great deal of time, money, and resources into making this happen. I personally have been able to balance my academic obligations and serve the people of Trinidad and Tobago through my work on P&M Abroad. And quite frankly, I'm beginning to get the feeling that this time and this effort that has been put into making this happen and informing the people is not being appreciated. Now, I say that in terms of the types of conversations, the unwillingness of people to approach particular discussions in a manner that really encompasses them. In that I mean, over recent times what I've been seeing is people not understanding how essential public policy is. They would rather marvel in political party diatribe, die-hard nonsense that doesn't really, help you advance. In fact, public policy is essential to the way we live our lives, and that is the problem. If people are not prepared to address this issue of public policy and how your government acts towards you, if people are not interested in their rights, in their freedoms, then what is our role? What are we doing? Are we wasting our time? Am I wasting my time? Am I actually assisting if you are not prepared to accept and to understand how public policy, how policies of division, how policies of making people lose their jobs, how policies of job creation, how policies of agenda setting, whether good or whether they have ulterior motives. We need to take account of these things if we are to move forward. P&M Abroad has had a track record of performance. While the PP invests heavily in spouting and spreading propaganda on the online airwaves, there is one group, and only one group, who has been there to stand the test of time since the beginning of the People's Partnership's tenure on May 24th, and we have challenged them since day one. We have challenged their approach since day one. But what we need is for people to understand that public policy is fundamental. It's a fundamental issue. Because then basically I'm wasting my time. What I could be doing, I could be doing what your average 21-year-old does. If people are not bothered to recognize how much effort goes into realizing what is P&M abroad, then what are we to do? Quite frankly, I'm somewhat very disappointed in Trinidad and Tobago. It seems as though parents, guardians, and those charged with the responsibilities do not care about their children's future, the leaders of tomorrow in their respective fields. Are we really that careless in Trinidad and Tobago? Are we really only interested in making a little scrape through to the next month? Does that concern you? Does all that concern you really partying? Well, that is really appalling. In fact, disgusting. And I refuse to be a part of that. I'm trying to give back in service to my country in any way that I can. And unfortunately, if people cannot appreciate all of what we are doing in order to arm them with the knowledge and with the tools to protect themselves against tyranny, then we don't really have a job. What we need requires people to make compromise, requires people to change the way they approach, to change the way they think about things, to change their overall mentality of not accepting little to nothing, of not accepting mediocrity, of just accepting things just because it just about gives us what we want, or just about gives me what I thought I wanted. That is not good enough. We need fundamental changes. We need to start demanding things in order for us to get the best of the best. Half-baked, mediocre things will just not cut the chase. So the question we raised tonight is our future. Do we stay or do we go? And it's really a question that we leave up to you to decide. Because in as much as P&M Abroad has done all it can to arm the people with the knowledge that they require, it also means that if we are to continue, if you make the decision that we are to continue doing this and not pack up our bags and move on, then what it requires is for people to get rid of this die-hard mentality of I am so P&M, I will accept any and everything they do and not seek to question it. 2, I merely support the P&M and I will hold the party accountable to me, to my family and my country, and I will ensure that they are holding true to their principles of our founding. The P&M has a long history, and we have a set of guidelines that we follow, and principles, ideology, and we need to be able to demand that. Because if we are not following what we stand for, then what are we? And this is the real question. We need to show the people why the PNM was good in the past, why it is good as an alternative now, and why it will be good in the future. We need to begin to rebuild this party in a way that encompasses the contributions of not only those members of the PNM who sit in the General Council or have their party cards, but persons who might simply support the PNM or who are thinking of possibly joining the PNM. We need to make it more open, accessible, and we need to begin educating the people of our country. So, this tonight is your decision. It is our future, and we leave it to you. Thank you.